And here's another instrument that was very definitely inspired by the 23 lore, and is, so far as I know, very faithful in just about every respect, including the Vierzy tone producer, which, again, you can't see. I don't know if it's possible to catch with the camera through that F-hole the detail of the Vierzy. At the very most, you can see its leading edge, so it's a subtle detail. But again, that roughly circular spruce plate with its little F-holes and 3 feet affixed to the underside of the top.
Now, it is difficult to sort of affix, if you will, a quality of sound that is defined by a certain piece or a function of the instrument.
That's right.
But in terms of a Vierzy, how would you describe it? Words don't do it justice. I sort of almost hear it as a little echo, or even, forgive me, a little fuzz tone or something. There's a little edge to it there that makes it a little bit more complex or a little different than just a straight note.
Well, I think that's true, and it is hard to describe. It's a very subjective thing, and words are not necessarily the easiest things to describe sounds with. Though what leaps to mind for me is Lauren Bacall and Kathleen Turner, the wonderful husky quality of their voices. I think of the Vierzy voice as being thicker. There's more there. Mm-hmm. And I think one common... if there is a negative comment to be made about Vierzys, and I'm not one who will make it, but I've heard it made, that Vierzys reduce the volume of the instrument. I don't know that I agree with that.
But I have heard it said, even by people who are opposed to Vierzys in general, or don't choose to have Vierzys in their instrument, that their experience of the instrument was much different. When they were playing it, they experienced lower volume, but out in front of the instrument, they didn't experience any degradation of volume of sound from the instrument at all. So,
I would say that is not only common with the Vierzy, but I would say that would be the typical result for any player of any mandolin. You'll have a different experience sitting out in front of it. So I think that I won't say this is universal necessarily, but I've certainly noticed that many players love the opportunity to hear their instrument in someone else's hands because it's a different experience. Mm-hmm. They're getting something else. And an important thing to remember, I think, about Vierzys is that these were, if not specifically, at least very generally meant to enhance the instrument's voice in a classical context and to create an experience for the listener as much as for the player that made the instrument cut through. You could really hear. These were designed for soloists in a classical setting where the lead instrument, if you will, the melodic voice needed to stand out in an orchestral context, even in an ensemble context. And part of the Vierzy design was to focus that sound and to project it in a way that a non-Vierzy instrument theoretically could not. And it is very subjective, and you'll get as many differing opinions as imaginable. But I think that, I don't just think it, I know that there is a result from the Vierzy that I just absolutely love. It's a more complex voice that is so suitable for so many things. I suppose for some kinds of music, perhaps it's not exactly what you want. Mm-hmm. But then the same can be true of any number of different mandolin styles. Some have a voice that would be more suitable for bluegrass as opposed to classical, or the other way around, Celtic as opposed to swing. I think the best instruments offer the greatest versatility, but that's one reason why we all want to have so many different instruments.
I was going to say that's one reason why one should have several mandolins.
I firmly believe in this.
And I'll have to remember this when I go home and speak with my wife. But
I think that's important. I mean, it's not frivolous. There's a serious intent here. Yeah. Well, let's hear how this sounds, perhaps with a little bit of O'Carolan.
beautiful Carolyn piece. Beautiful sounding instrument. In terms of appearance, you were talking about this is a very faithful reproduction. In terms of the finish and the color of the finish, of the patina and the materials used, is it faithful in those ways as well?
I would say very faithful. I don't believe that there is any such thing as the definitive Lohr sunburst. They certainly covered a wide range. Basically a tobacco or Cremona sunburst, but a fair amount of variation. So there's a range within which this would fit, but the overall color of the instrument, certainly the design aesthetic. I think that the dimensions, Lynn will tell me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that from graduation to very specific dimensions, in every regard, this is a very, very faithful copy to the Lohr. I don't know that there is any departure you will find. At least if there is, I'm unaware of it. From neck angle to the thickness of the headstock, the graduation of the top, all features critical and otherwise.
There's even a Lloyd Lohr signature in there that Lynn must have forged.
I don't know how he does that, but it's a remarkable thing. This instrument features Waverly tuners with ebony buttons. Waverly's being very new, in a sense, to the market, having not been available for many, many years. They are very pricey tuners. They are the finest that are available, and if you can justify the expense, they are simply wonderful tuners. But one of a number of choices.
Mm-hmm.
Are they dramatically better than the Grovers? To each his own, I think. They are wonderful tuners.
I'm waiting for, there's a man in England evidently who submitted a patent last year for a machine system that keeps the instrument in tune automatically.
Marvelous.
Just has it all built in, so
You just flip the on switch and you're in tune.
the wheels just go. Bring
That's
you up to
fabulous.
440. And that is absolutely beautiful.
It's a beautiful, beautiful piece of work.